all I want is a cup of coffee. My mom gave me this coffee pot. It's fancy, you know. There's 2 buttons on it. There's this one. That's the obvious one. That's on every coffee pot ever. But there's also this one. You have to keep the coffee pot plugged in all the time, and that second button has to stay on. Otherwise, it takes like 2 hours to heat the water up. My brother has this strange fear that the house is going to burn down. He's had it our entire lives. So he has to like methodically unplug everything every night. So I've been waiting here, wanting my coffee, but there's no coffee for me to drink because fancy coffee pots are a pain in the ass. So my mom and her husband have been working diligently on acquiring all the properties on their block. I know that might sound like some highfalutin rich people shit. It's not that, it's just property in this town is insanely cheap, especially where they live. They recently bought the property next door and I want to photograph that, but they haven't got the deed and stuff, so I'm waiting 2/3 of the way there. Now, there's this house behind their house and I'm obsessed with it. I've taken photos of it like 1,000,000 times and I can see that there's broken windows in the building. It'd be very easy to get inside. In fact, I was over there last night and I asked my mom, hey, what's the deal with the house back there? Is it abandoned? And she's like, I don't know, I think it is. But that's not really that much of a reassurance, you know what I mean? Like, I can't just assume that a place is abandoned, because then what if it's not, and then you just have people in there like, what the fuck are you doing? I have to know for sure before I do something. But she did tell me, why don't you just go to the place next door? That one over there. Not the one that they bought, but the one on the other side. I'm like, oh, that one's abandoned? And she closed her eyes and she sighed. She's like, Cody, I've told you that the place was abandoned like 12 times. And I'm like, Mom, you can't expect me to have any semblance of a short-term memory because I smoked pot for fucking 12 years and it's gone. I have nothing. If you tell me something 10 seconds later, it's gone. I got the long form memory still there, but anything short-term, forget about it. So she said, go check that place out. The owner doesn't care. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So that's what I did yesterday, but it was already like 4:30, 5 o'clock. It was overcast. It was getting dark. So I thought I'll just go tomorrow. And tomorrow has arrived. So let's go explore the place. See what we can find. Get some pictures. But before we do that, we're in for a daily Patreon update. I don't even know what we're at on Patreon because I gotta look. So let's see. We are at 26 patrons and $97 a month. That's fucking awesome. The daily posts have been going pretty well. There was a short spat where I was in Pennsylvania. That is why I haven't made a vlog for a few days. I'm getting myself back into the flow of things, but I've been making posts along the way. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the way. If you want to see all the custom content, the behind the scenes, the photography that I'm doing that I'm not featuring in these videos, all you gotta do is become my patron. As low as $1 a month and you have access to all of it. There's a stain on my shirt and it's gonna fucking bother me. I'm not gonna ramble too much about it, but I'm really fucking excited. Like, it's got me pumped up to keep doing this stuff. Anyway, let's go to the abandoned house. So I can get away with how dark it is in here on video. It's a little harder to detect, but when it comes to pictures, it's very dark in this building, which sucks because it's just littered in cool stuff. But my whole flashlight method isn't really working Even with the flashlight on, it's still pretty damn dark. I'm getting like these weird waves of nostalgia. Upstairs there is the top of a lamp that my grandma had in her house. I'm looking over here right now and there's a bunch of Looney Tunes cups that my grandma also had. It's weird. You can tell this house was like really nice at one point. And that door is freaking me out. I know there's nothing in there, I was just in there. It's still freaking me out though. What?
It's cold.
Yeah. It's just windy. Which means all this footage is going to be unusable too. So this thing was pretty much rendered irrelevant at that place because it was dark as fuck. Usually when it's too dark, I can just use this and it does the trick, but for some reason, that wasn't the case today. Didn't really work. All my photos today are grainy. I should really just start bringing a flash. I know that that's the answer to the situation, but for some reason I always forget to do it. Like, oh, well, I'll just use a low f-stop and I'll crank the ISO a little bit, it'll be fine. And plus sometimes when you use a flash in photos like this, it has a tendency to look really plastic and synthetic, and I don't like that. I would prefer a little bit of grain over that like synthetic, shadowy, fake light look that you get from a standard flash. And in buildings like this, I couldn't use a bigger flash because there's no electricity. So that's it for that portion of this vlog. I have a list of like 7 or 8 videos I want to make. This video that I'm making today wasn't even on that list. But they're all going to take a considerable amount of effort. So this is just kind of a vlog to space in between the stuff that I need to get done. There will be a retrospective video. I wanted to test the 4K footage on my phone, and I figured I'd just dive headfirst into it by filming a vlog from my trip to Pennsylvania and back. That should be coming soon, hopefully in the next few days. I don't know how it's gonna look. It looks decent on the phone, but everything looks okay on a phone because the screen's like that fucking big. How the fuck do I still not have coffee? That's like up to... Something ain't right. What I've learned is fancy coffee pots are bullshit. Don't give me shit about not having a coffee cup, but I don't have one right now. This is 20 minutes of brewing a pot of coffee. I'm sick of waiting, so I'm just gonna have myself a little half glass here. Come on, get in there, cup. All right. Let's go. This video was brought to you by my patrons. You can check out the link below if you like this kind of content and would like to see it continue.